Hi YouTubers, it's Vita the Diva coming to you live, and like I always say, it's video. Hi YouTubers, I'm back, and what are we going to be discussing today? We're going to be discussing how I have been abstinent the majority of my life, but now I have to have a hysterectomy, and so I will never be able to have a child the conventional way of carrying a baby in my uterus. I will be having a partial hysterectomy on November 3rd, which is a Tuesday. And I am still coming to grips with this. I just recorded a video of why I had to have a hysterectomy, and I said the next time that you would see me, it would be, like a countdown of, how I was feeling. But I just felt like I just need to go ahead and get this out because in the last video I was saying how I was watching a lot of YouTube videos regarding hysterectomies and, like why people have them, what types they have, their journey to getting it, and then afterwards their recovery. And when it all boils down to it, I don't see me. I don't see, or I didn't see videos that reflected what I am currently going through. I didn't see videos of women who practice abstinence and thought they were doing it the right way, only to find out now there's no chance of you having it the conventional way. Again, carrying the child in your uterus, birthing the child. If God willing, I am married, if my husband and I decide that we want to still have children, I still have the advantage of taking my eggs and my husband's semen and implanting it into someone, and we could still have a child that's biologically ours. So I'm grateful to God for that opportunity. I am in, I don't mind telling you, I'm a grown woman. I'm 43. So most people would say, why in the world would you even want to have kids if you haven't had it by now? Well, again, I wanted to do it the right way. The right way may not be your way, but this is the right way for me. As a result of me wanting to do it the right way, I have not given myself to every Tom, Dick, and Harry, nor will I give myself to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I have been very, very clear about my dating. I don't want to say requirements, but I mean, maybe people might call them that. But I've just not, again, I've been abstinent the majority of my life. And I'm trying not to be angry because I know that there are many people out there who, want to have babies and never could, or they never wanted babies and they have a whole lot of them. But I'm trying not to be angry with the fact that, I did it this way thinking that, I'm going to be blessed. So I've had some time to really think about, I know whatever God has for me, and I don't want to come across with all these little, church cliches and, that's not what I want. But what I want to do is be transparent in the sense of saying, I waited. And I don't see that being displayed on the YouTube videos that I have come across. What I see is, oh, I already have kids, so I'm done, so they can take it, or, I have a couple, but I'm not married. So what if I meet that someone and I want to have a child with him? Or, I never want a kid, so I could care less. None of those scenarios, none reflect me. I've not seen anyone talk about how they have practiced abstinence and now they've been told that they can't have kids. And, like I said, I know people out there like, you're 43. Why would you even be considering kids? It's because I'm a grown woman and I should have kids when I'm ready. I shouldn't just be having kids because I'm sitting and spinning. And as a result of sitting and spinning, I keep getting pregnant. I've chosen not to sit and spin. That's what I've chosen to do. As a result, I am now sitting up here trying to figure out the next phase of my life. And it's difficult. I don't know. I'm looking to family, of course, and I'm looking, my family has been very supportive and they continue to be very supportive. I am hoping and praying that after the partial hysterectomy that I have a quick recovery. There's a lot of things that I want to continue to do, and there's a lot of things that I want to start doing. It's just now I feel like I'm almost being forced to think about, will I have someone, I'll just say who looks like me, will I ever be able to have a child with someone, whether it's I know it won't be the conventional way. Will I ever be able to have a child unconventionally, having someone else carry a child for me? And is that something that I really want? I mean, I used to tease my family and I would tell them, oh, yeah, sure, I'll get pregnant. I'll have a party for 9 months for me, but you can keep the baby when it's born, because I wasn't ready for kids. So, I mean, my family knew it. I was very honest during that time. I wasn't ready. Not even just because I was practicing abstinence. I just, at that time in my life, had no desire for them. And so now I'm like, well, maybe you should have had a desire. And, I don't know. I hope I'm not rambling. I'm just really speaking from my heart. And I think that this is probably the first time that I've really kind of said some of this stuff out loud. And I know I keep saying I'm trying not to be angry. But this is just where I am in this process. And maybe a year from now, I might be those women who I hear, in YouTube land, discussing how it was the best decision I ever made. And if I had to do it all over again, I would have a hysterectomy. Yay, hysterectomy. I don't know. I'm not there right now. I am still trying to get it in my thick skull that you have to have a hysterectomy. And when I had my doctor's appointment with the OBGYN that's going to be doing my surgery, she kept asking me, so what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to get pregnant. She's like, oh, that's not an option. Okay, she said, I was like, why not? Why? I mean, let's just go, worst case scenario, not worst, but hypothetically. Let's just go hypothetically. Let's say that I get pregnant and I want to go ahead and, get a baby before you all take my uterus. Why isn't that possible? And she basically told me because the placenta and the fibroids will be fighting for nutrients and it will not be a win-win situation for anybody, the child, myself, and it's just not anything that they would be willing to even risk. And so she said, so what else do you want? I was like, well, I don't want to have this surgery. She's like, that's not an option. I'm like, well, you keep asking me what I want and I'm telling you what I want and you keep telling me it's not an option. So what are we doing? She's like, well, your options are the Da Vinci, vaginally, and a C-section. And I told her, I said, well, if I could have my way, because I didn't want to be cut. I didn't want any type of incision. I said, I wanted the vaginal. And she looked at me, she was like, really? And she held up her hands like, basically it looked like the size of like a cantaloupe. She was like, your fibroids are the size of this, it was like the size of a cantaloupe. She said, trying to go through a hole like this, she's like, that's not an option. So I'm like, and again, why do you keep asking me? Because I didn't want the C-section. I'm like, I don't want to be the only thing I ever birthed was fibroids. Okay, and this is how I feel. If that's the only thing I'm ever going to birth are fibroids, take that heifer out. I don't want her. She ain't never done nothing for me but carry fibroids. Take her out, That's how I was feeling about my uterus, because I'm like, the only thing that's been in there, I've never been pregnant. Never almost been pregnant. Maybe coulda, shoulda, would. Never have I been pregnant. So I'm like, if the only thing that my uterus has ever housed are fibroids, take her out, But of course, these are just emotions raw. And then I, broke down with the OBGYN because I had been told by my primary care physician, that it was not going to be possible for me not to have the surgery, for me to carry a child. But I just kept asking these questions over and over again. I just kept being told it's not an option. It's not an option. So I cried when I was with the OBGYN. And again, because I waited. And the beautiful thing is, again, and I have to keep reminding myself that if I desire, I still have my ovaries. Thank you, God. I still have my ovaries if I decide. Because at one point I felt like all bets were off and there was no way for me to ever have a mini-me. But now that I know, I never even desired, and this is the first time I'm saying this. This is the first time. I never desired to have a child without a husband. Because, I didn't want to have the sex before marriage. Plain and simple. But now that I know I can take my stuff and a man's stuff and put it in somebody else's stuff and then come out with a baby that's my DNA, it's a thought. It's a thought. It's an expensive thought, but it's a thought. So that's it, YouTubers. Again, I just wanted to kind of tell you guys, how I feel being abstinent for the majority of my life and now having to have a partial hysterectomy. So that's how I feel. That's where I am in this journey. And as always, guys, be the best you that you can be. Because you know what? All the others are taken. Smooches.